Hey everyone, dear friends, this is Drake on the Crime Story Diaries channel. Today we'll be examining a disturbing case, so I invite you to watch the video. Don't forget to leave your comments and likes. Millionaire Dino Guglielmelli and the charming model Monica Olsen made an incredibly stunning and extravagant couple. Their relationship was characterized by amazing harmony and a perfect compatibility of temperaments. Their marriage lasted for 9 years, but one day their feelings grew cold and the couple made the fateful decision to divorce. This story vividly demonstrates the lengths people are willing to go for big money. It is a tale of human greed and cruelty in all their raw, unbridled essence. Monica Olsen was born in 1981 in a small Canadian town to a decent and educated family. From a young age, she nurtured a dream of a modeling career. As a teenager, she regularly attended castings, appeared in advertisements, and walked the runway at fashion shows. Nature had endowed Monica not only with beauty, but also with a sharp mind. The photogenic and charming girl earned a master's degree in international finance and mastered an impressive 7 languages. Working tirelessly to achieve success in the modeling business, Monica first moved to New York and later to Los Angeles, where she sought to try her hand at acting. In the early 2000s, she had a small role in the movie The Hot Chick, where she met Rachel McAdams on set. In the summer of 2003 in Los Angeles, fate brought 22-year-old Monica Olsen together with Dino Guglielmelli, a successful businessman who had just turned 42. Enchanted by the young model's beauty, the dignified millionaire sought to win her heart and build a serious relationship. Dino Guglielmelli was born in 1961 in Washington into a large and close-knit family with 6 siblings. Accustomed to hard work from a young age, the boy helped his parents around the family farm. Despite this, Dino dreamed of music and aspired to create his own rock band. Eventually, he dropped out of college and went to Los Angeles with a firm intention of becoming a genuine rock star. Unfortunately, his musical experiments did not bring the expected profits. As a 20-year-old, Dino took a job as a janitor at a waste processing plant. 3 years passed, and he worked his way up to office manager, and 7 years later, he took on a leadership position. In his free time, Dino studied the intricacies of business, harboring plans for his own venture. When Guglielmelli turned 30, he founded a company producing dietary supplements and organic cosmetics. The enterprising man was convinced that everyone wants to live longer and look their best. The young businessman had no doubt about the success of his undertaking. Dino's business idea proved to be remarkably successful and gained tremendous popularity. At its peak, his company owned 4 factories employing about 300 workers. The annual profit reached approximately $48 million. Guglielmelli bought luxury cars and real estate, wallowing in wealth. Despite the fact that Dino had already been married, which gave him a son and a daughter but ended in divorce, at 42, he fell head over heels in love with the young and charming Monica, as if for the first time. The dignified millionaire masterfully courted the girl, lavishing her with gifts and showing genuine care. Barely 6 months had passed since their first meeting when the couple embarked on a romantic trip to Italy. It was there that Dino unexpectedly got down on one knee before his chosen one. Despite the significant age difference, the enchanted beauty agreed without hesitation to become the influential millionaire's wife. The year 2004 was marked by the grand wedding of Dino and Monica in the heart of New York City. The newlyweds radiated happiness, although Guglielmelli's family and friends suspected the young wife of being mercenary and pursuing her chosen one's wealth. After the wedding, the couple settled in Dino's luxurious estate in Valencia, California. Their home spanned 650 square meters and included 6 cozy bedrooms, a spacious kitchen, a bright living room, and a children's room. The property, covering over a hectare, featured a seawater pool, a compact spa center, and a cozy guest house. Initially, Dino and Monica's married life truly resembled a fairy tale. Guglielmelli's older children lived under the same roof with them. The man enthusiastically developed his business, while his wife continued to conquer the modeling world. When Monica became pregnant in 2005, she had to step away from her career for a while. Soon, the couple welcomed their firstborn, a daughter named Vendela, and 2 years later, another girl, Sienna, was born. Immersing herself fully in motherhood, Monica realized after a few years that family life was not something she was ready to dedicate herself to completely. In 2008, with her husband's support, the ambitious woman launched her own line of organic cosmetics under the brand Skin by Monica Olsen. At the same time, Monica gradually resumed her activities as a model and actress. To this end, she hired an experienced nanny who looked after Vendela and Siana around the clock in the Guglielmelli couple's luxurious apartments. By 2011, Monica's career had skyrocketed. The model constantly disappeared for photo shoots, regularly visiting Hollywood, New York, and Milan. She was invited to collaborate with the most renowned designers of the time. Sometimes Olsen would return home late in the evening when her daughters were already dreaming sweet dreams, only to set off again at dawn for another photo shoot. Meanwhile, her cosmetic line gained immense popularity among consumers. 2 large retail chains agreed to place stands with Monica's products in their stores. As Mrs. Olsen's friend confessed, the girl aspired to become financially independent from her millionaire husband, relying solely on her own strengths and abilities. Dino watched as his wife's popularity grew relentlessly. It irritated him that Monica spent too much time at work, distancing herself from the family and becoming increasingly independent. Guglielmelli desired for his chosen one to dedicate herself to the home, having children and caring for the family. Dino's older brother, named Gene, recounted living under the same roof as the couple for 6 months. According to him, both Dino and Monica were strong personalities, not inclined to compromise. Gene noted that his brother tried to control his wife, especially her participation in revealing photo shoots. Because of this, Guglielmelli began to display overt aggression. Becoming even more domineering and vindictive, Dino used his position as the company owner to break contracts with stores that sold his wife's organic cosmetics. He did everything to ensure that Monica's products did not reach the shelves. Consumed by jealousy, the man began firing employees at his factories, gradually destroying his own business empire. Increasingly, Guglielmelli disappeared into nightclubs, trying to bring his long-held dream of a music career to life. By his 50th birthday, he finally created a rock band, becoming its leader and vocalist. To fit the stage image, Dino dyed his hair black and started applying nail polish. "This is how I express my creative nature. There's no need to be afraid of it," he tried to convince Monica. However, her husband's bizarre appearance greatly frightened her. In conversations with friends, she complained that Dino was behaving like a madman. One day, using his authority, Guglielmelli fired the nanny to whom his daughters were very attached. He disliked that this woman was too close with Monica and openly sympathized with her. By the end of 2011, the couple's relationship had reached a dead end. Constant quarrels and mutual grievances made it impossible for them to live together under the same roof. Eventually, Dino filed for divorce. To have as little contact as possible with his still legal wife, Guglielmelli moved into the guest house on the luxurious estate. During that turbulent period, Dino did not shy away from seeing other women. Even before the official dissolution of the marriage, the millionaire took on several mistresses, not hiding this fact from Monica. In January 2012, Dino Guglielmelli turned to his 46-year-old friend and business partner, Richard Furman, with a request to assist in removing Monica from his life as quickly as possible. Dino and Richard conducted joint business, supplying vitamins and nutritional supplements to the military. In the past, Furman himself had been a serviceman, so he had the necessary connections. The men became friends and trusted each other. Guglielmelli complained to his friend about Monica's marital infidelity, accusing her of affairs with men and women. He claimed that his wife abused alcohol and drugs, not paying due attention to raising their daughters. Fearing the loss of property and custody of the children, Dino did not want to pay his ex-wife monthly alimony of $55,000. Guglielmelli handed Furman a duplicate of Monica's car keys, as well as information about the places she usually visited. The millionaire asked his friend to plant illegal substances in the car and call the police to have Olsen arrested and deported to her native Canada. Soon, Dino provided documents indicating financial difficulties in his company. This allowed for reducing the alimony amount to $25,000 per month. However, a lawyer specializing in divorces advised Dino to leave his ex-wife alone, claiming that he would not win the court battle anyway. The lawyer recommended that Guglielmelli simply pay the required alimony and start a new life. But the enraged millionaire could not accept defeat. He did not want to give Monica custody of the children or share the business with her. In desperation, Dino again turned to Richard, pleading for help in getting rid of his persistent ex-wife. One day, during a meeting, Furman informed Guglielmelli that Monica was infected with HIV and would soon die from AIDS. A malicious smile spread across Dino's face. He decided that this slow and painful death would be a worthy punishment for his unfaithful wife. However, at the beginning of 2012, the situation changed dramatically. On January 16th, during another fierce quarrel between the spouses in their estate, a frightened Monica locked her terrified daughters in a room and called the police herself. Imagine her surprise when it turned out that Dino had beaten her to it, calling 911 and complaining about being beaten by her. To support his words, Guglielmelli took a photo of the scratches on his neck. The police believed the man and arrested Monica, who spent a day in a cell with dangerous criminals. Soon, a case of domestic violence was opened against Olsen. In January 2012, Dino obtained a restraining order against his ex-wife and secured sole custody of Vendela and Siana. Monica had to urgently leave the luxurious estate. A similar story was told by Lateya, Guglielmelli's first wife. According to her, during their divorce, Dino similarly accused her of domestic violence and drug addiction, seeking to obtain full custody of their children. Unfortunately, he succeeded. After breaking up with Guglielmelli, Lateya lost everything: the children, the house, and her share in the joint business. In her opinion, Dino was extremely calculating, cunning, and heartless, getting rid of his wives solely for his own benefit. Unlike Lateya, Monica did not give up and began to fight for justice. After 13 grueling months, she finally managed to prove her innocence in court. All charges were dropped against Olsen, allowing her to reunite with her daughters. Dino was furious. Obsessed with the idea of revenge, Guglielmelli again turned to Richard Furman, begging him to help in the final elimination of Monica. The millionaire called his friend 10 times a week, repeating like a mantra, "We need to get rid of this woman as soon as possible." For Dino, it was important that everything looked as if Monica had become a victim of drug dealers. He dreamed that his ex-wife's death would be truly terrible and painful. "Cut off her head and throw the body into a ditch," ordered the enraged Guglielmelli. On October 1st, 2013, Dino and Richard met in a cozy cafe. Over lunch, the millionaire informed his friend that Monica was currently vacationing in Mexico. After enjoying hot meals, the men proceeded to discuss the details of the contract killing. Furman reported that he had already hired someone in Mexico, and in just a few hours, Monica Olsen would cease to exist. Richard gave his friend one last chance to change his mind, but Dino was adamant. When asked how the daughters would live without their mother, Guglielmelli carelessly replied, "Don't worry, I'm a great father. I'll find them a new, caring mom, much better than their own." Next, the friends discussed the financial side of the matter. Dino promised to pay Furman $80,000 for the service without going into unnecessary details. "I'll read about the details in the newspapers," he casually remarked. The meeting lasted an hour and a half, of which about 15 minutes were devoted to discussing the insidious plan. In the end, Dino shook his friend's hand and headed home. In reality, Richard Furman had no intention of killing Monica. Even before meeting with Dino, he had gone to the police, agreeing to help expose the conspiracy. Richard recorded the entire conversation in the cafe on a dictaphone hidden under the table. Moreover, undercover police officers sat at nearby tables, carefully monitoring the development of events. As for Monica, she of course did not go anywhere. Grateful to Furman for her salvation, the woman was hiding in a California hotel, eagerly awaiting the arrest of her treacherous ex-husband. The next day, October 2nd, the life of 52-year-old Dino Guglielmelli was turned upside down. Police officers arrested him right in his luxurious estate, in front of his terrified daughters. The millionaire was charged with ordering the murder of his ex-wife. Unwilling to admit guilt, Dino claimed to be a victim of Richard Furman's devious plan, who allegedly sought to take over his business. Guglielmelli accused his former friend of wanting to get rid of Monica so that she would not interfere with their joint venture. While behind bars awaiting trial, Dino even offered his cellmate a hefty sum of money to take revenge on Furman. Upon learning of this, a frightened Richard urgently left California, hiding his whereabouts. Meanwhile, prosecutors discovered that Guglielmelli had managed to secretly transfer $4.5 million abroad and planned to flee the country with his children. Unfortunately for him, this plan failed miserably. To prevent further intrigues, Dino was placed in solitary confinement without the right to use a mobile phone. As for Richard Furman, the investigation revealed several interesting facts. It turned out that Richard had served in the army for only 1 year, not achieving much success due to an injury that led to his discharge. When directly asked if he had ever killed a person, Furman responded evasively, "On U.S. soil, no, never," he declared, refusing to comment further. The investigation also uncovered several strange episodes regarding the business relationship between Furman and Guglielmelli. In particular, Richard had repeatedly deceived his friend, assuring him that they had signed a lucrative contract to supply nutritional supplements to the military. Later, Richard admitted to forging signatures on documents to convince Dino of the prospects of their venture. "I was just trying to distract him from bad thoughts and cheer him up a bit," Furman justified himself. The prosecutors agreed that Guglielmelli and Furman were well acquainted with each other's working methods. It was no wonder the men had been running a joint business and socializing for so long. The judge openly called Richard a clever trickster, but no formal charges were brought against him. In the summer of 2014, the trial of Dino Guglielmelli finally began. The stubborn millionaire continued to deny his guilt, claiming that he was the only victim of an insidious conspiracy. "Am I guilty of working too hard and trusting a worthless friend?" Dino shouted across the courtroom. Eventually, the judge offered Guglielmelli a deal: admit guilt in attempted murder in the second degree in exchange for a reduced sentence. Realizing that he was facing life imprisonment, the defendant agreed. Later, Dino explained that he only accepted the deal because of his mother's suffering, who would not have endured years of legal battles. One way or another, in 2014, Dino Guglielmelli was officially found guilty and sentenced to 9 years in prison. An outraged Monica Olsen called the sentence unfairly lenient. In the courtroom, she delivered a fiery speech. "Is attempted murder a trifle? If someone shoots at a person but misses, do they suddenly become righteous? And is it fair to consider Dino innocent just because Richard stopped him?" The official divorce of Monica and Dino took place after the final verdict was announced. The woman admitted that from now on, the meaning of her life was raising her daughters, Vendela and Siana. After the dissolution of the marriage, Guglielmelli's luxurious estate in Valencia became Monica's property. However, she could no longer live in that house. She felt too frightened and unsafe there, shuddering at every rustle. Eventually, Olsen sold the estate for $3 million and bought a more modest home for herself and her daughters. The woman even tried to revive the cosmetics business, but the new venture proved unprofitable. Now Monica understands that if not for the scandalous story with her ex-husband, she would have undoubtedly reached stunning heights in her career. Meanwhile, Dino Guglielmelli's company was sold at auction, and the proceeds went to pay off numerous debts. The disgraced millionaire himself served his sentence in a California prison, from which he was released only in 2021. This is a cautionary tale about destructive greed, morbid jealousy, and devious intrigues. I hope it will make you think about true values and the importance of humanity in this challenging life. I sincerely thank you for your attention and would be glad to hear your feedback in the comments. I promise to carefully consider every remark or suggestion.